Sylvia Vowless, and I'm an international speaker and spiritual teacher, and also an award winning writer. And I have been doing this service now for over 30 years and counting. And I'd like to welcome you to my latest higher self inspired, what I call soul service mission or project, which is the AUM, which stands for Answers from Universal Mind. And the whole aim of all my work, and this included, of course, is to help empower people. Empower people to accelerate their spiritual progress or advancements, to help them make sense of life and the world, to improve the quality of their life, all those things that we know that we're here for. So the aim is also to ask or invite people to send in their questions to me, things that maybe puzzle you or you've heard that you don't understand, things that would help make sense of your life. They can be spiritual, metaphysical, or they can be uh, things to do with, let's say, quality of life and living a miraculous, wonderful life, which I don't only believe is our birthright and what we can do, but I know it is because that's how I live mine. And my award winning book explains actually how you can do that. It's sort of a guidebook, it's called The Miracle Effect. And that has helped a lot of people now worldwide to, to live their life into a miraculous, fantastic experience. So, AUM, Answers from Universal Mind. What does that mean? Well, as I understand it, we can ask questions of our higher mind, the higher mind of our higher self, because that is in turn connected directly with the universal mind. Now, everybody can do it. It's just that the majority of people either are too busy or they don't know how, or they haven't the confidence to develop this skill, which you all can. Whatever, the reasons are many and varied. But because this has been the foundation of my service work for the past 30 years, I guess that's why Higher Self suggested, well, now offer it as a question and answer service. So my answers, as I say, come from this direct connection, this direct revelation, and also from the ancient wisdom teachings that, of course, contain so much invaluable information gathered together over all the centuries, left behind by ascended masters and enlightened souls. And I've been studying that for over 40 years. So it's a blend of the two. So today, I'd like to answer another question, or it's not so much a question, but something that is so important and so powerful and so beneficial that I feel I've just got to remind you of it. You possibly have heard about it before, but certainly encourage you to go deeper with it and use it and get the benefits. And what is it? Well, what are the most powerful two words that we can use? The most powerful two words we can use. And coincidentally, it's the shortest sentence in the English language. So, what are these two words? I am. I am. Now, there are two I ams. There's the I and what I call the little am. If I'm writing it down, it's got small letters, am, which is our personality self, who we are in this lifetime. I'm Sylvia, you're John or Mary or whatever. So that's the little I am. But the higher aspect of our being, you could call it, as I do in my book, our higher counterparts. You could call it our blueprint. In other words, that our little I am is formed from. It's got many understandings, and I do explain it a little bit in the Miracle Effect. But at this higher aspect of our being is our I am written as, well, when I write it, is in all capitals, meaning it's short for I am presence, or it's another way of calling our higher self, the I am. To me, they're the same things. And throughout my book, I use the two terms together, I am higher self. In fact, in my book, I call it HS for short. The reason being that the communicator, or the communication that we can have with our higher self, is through uh, what I use in the terminology of the ancient wisdom as the Holy Spirit, which is also HS. So I simply use HS. So why is this the most powerful sentence? Why are these the two most powerful words that we can use? It's because we are making a statement of who we are, of who we believe we are, or who, better still, we know we are once we've started working with it and proving it for ourselves. We can either be saying I am, as I say, with the little letters, which is expressing our limited vision of ourself, our third dimensional physical form and third dimensional mind, where we're experiencing this world. But better is to use the higher version, the capital version, if you will, of the I am, which is then claiming our birthright of a whole higher aspect of being. Some people call it their spiritual self or their God self. It's got many names. It doesn't really matter what name you use, whatever's relevant to you. In other words, it is encapsulating our limitless potential as spiritual beings having this physical experience. In other words, to start living in a higher way with a higher understanding and awareness of what life is about and who we are. And actually, we're actually unlimited once we tap into this higher power, because the higher power knows no limits. This higher version of ourself is ourselves, but in a higher frequency, shall we say. It's our counterpart, if you will. And once we work from that level in our understanding and bringing it into reality, then all things become possible. We're no longer limited by the third dimension. And so many people have proved this to be true. I have proved it again and again. One of the ways that I write about is that miracles become possible, not only possible, but regular. But it's not through our limited little I am personality self that they're possible. It's from our expanded self, shall we call it, our higher consciousness self. So when you use the term I am, be aware of what you follow it with. Because whatever you're stating is actually a statement of who you are, of who you believe you are. So if you were saying, oh, I am no good at this, I am tired, I am sick, or whatever, you are actually bringing into form, because your I am will follow you, as it were, you are bringing into form what you have just spoken or thought about, because doesn't thought, and particularly when it's vocalized, um, become manifest? Of course it does. We know that. We all are aware of that fact, I'm sure, now. So be very mindful of what you say when you use I am, even if it's just in an everyday situation. Always follow it with something positive, how you ideally wish to be, even if you're not feeling it at the moment. That doesn't matter, because in the higher frequency, you already are that. And also, if you're affirming, uh, well, I don't call them affirmations, I call them decrees, which I'll talk about in another wee video. You are actually bringing into form something that you can imprint on the quantum field so that it's already happened, it's already a done deal. And then you bring it into form, into the third dimension. So always follow I am with something that's empowering, that's positive, that's uplifting, that expresses the reality of who you are as a spiritual being, your limitless self, as it were. Um, and if you're decreeing or even making affirmations, I have found if you begin them with I am, meaning your higher self, your consciousness, uh, then that gives it that limitless power to make true, to become manifest. And if I'm doing a decree for something, I always start it with, by the fully active power of my I am, I decree the perfect outcome of, and then whatever it is I'm wishing to achieve. And I'll be doing some more wee videos on that, a little bit to expand that. I have already done some, which if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll find there are quite a number already there on different facets of this. So you might like to check them out and subscribe, because all of these will be on this channel. So I am is, as I say, the most powerful statement. And if you can encourage children, young people, to be aware of this, to only use the most positive statement after the words I am, it will become a habit which will greatly enhance their life. And that I am understanding of limitless potential, I have put into my children's book, which is due to come out around March 2018. It's called Let Me Tell You a Secret. And of course, what is the secret? Is that I am, and I've put it into a children's context, that I am like a super hero, a super self, and so forth. So I hope that gives you something to work on and to be aware of, because it's so empowering. And as I say, do send me any questions you may have. Here is my email address, sjv3@extra.co.nz. Note there's no E in extra. Or you can go to my website, which is www.sylviavowless.com, where there will be a contact section that you can make contact with me. And as I say, do let me have your questions. I would love to have the privilege to work with them and to know what would help you, because as always, what one person asks, so many others will think, oh yes, I've always wondered about that. So you're actually helping a lot of other people too. So I'll sign off and hope you'll join me again very soon, with much love and blessings.